The Spring Mill Cranky Show. Well, this quirky 19th century entertainment form, the moving panorama Cranky Show, is perhaps the best way to commemorate this quirky and entertaining character from the 19th century. This was a man who did nothing ordinary or predictable. I'm speaking, of course, of George Donaldson, the Wild Scotsman, naturalist and visionary. George Donaldson was from Scotland, and he arrived where I am standing in Mitchell, Lawrence County, Indiana in 1865. He bought 181 acres of land, and he put it aside to study and to appreciate. That was it. He invested in the land, and his intent was to do nothing with it at all. This was in an area that was being logged fervently. That was the income for the growing Mitchell community. There were 1,300 people, 4 churches, 6 schools, there were stores. People were poor, and the wealth they had was in the trees, and they were cutting them down as fast as they possibly could. Donaldson took the land away from any possibility of commerce, and he said nothing was to be cut, not even a switch for a buggy whip. This was an entitled man, of that there is no doubt. He didn't have to earn money with his investments, and he was not even required to make sense in his everyday life. The census taker came by and asked Donaldson his age, and Donaldson talked happily and incessantly with the man and would not answer any of his questions. He answered every question but his age. Finally, Donaldson said, "Just say 50 and add whatever else you want onto that number." Donaldson was 54 at the time. I'm willing to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. He was a naturalist and obsessed with the south central Indiana land. This was a man who had seen a lot. He had toured the world and studied trapdoor spiders in California. He'd been stung by stingrays in the Atlantic. He'd gone to northern Wisconsin, lived with Indians. He was obsessed with the United States. And in his Indiana woods, Donaldson built an observation tower. And he took extensive notes on birds of the forest. He followed skunks and possums. He filled clam shells with sugar water to attract hummingbirds. And he scoured